just to look at these general solution type of questions. 3.1 cos 2x is equals to 1 minus 3 cos of x. I have a cos on the right hand side, and then this can be written in three different ways. We have cos squared x minus sine squared x. We have 1 minus 2 sine squared x. We also have 2 cos squared x minus 1. So all of these three, they represent cos 2 of x. So I'm going to pick the one with the cos, since I already have a cos on the right hand side. This is going to be cos squared x minus 1 plus 3 cos of x minus 1, which is equals to 0. And then 2 cos squared x plus 3 cos of x minus 2 is equals to 0. And now I have a trinomial. I can use factors. So this is 2 cos of x, and then I want to get a 3 there. So that's going to be a 2 and a 1. This is positive, this is negative. So I'm going to have a 2 cos squared x plus 4 cos x, then minus, that's going to give me a 3 cos x minus 2. So 2 cos of x minus 1 is equals to 0, or cos of x plus 2 is equals to 0. Cos of x is equals to 1 over 2, or cos of x is equals to negative 2. But this has no solution. I know this because when I draw the graph of cos, it will have a range of 1 is to negative 1, and the graph will look something like that. So this line, like the turning points of the graphs, they will never be equals to negative 2. That is why this has no solution. So I'm going to focus on this. The reference angle there should be equals to 60 degrees. And I am working in a quadrant where cos is positive. So I am working in quadrant 1 and quadrant 4. Quadrant 1 and quadrant 4. X is equals to 60 degrees plus k, 360 degrees, where k is an element of integers. In the fourth quadrant, x is going to be equals to 360 degrees minus 60 degrees plus k, 360 degrees. So here I'm getting 300 plus k, 360 degrees. 3.2 tan x minus 1 all over 2 is equals to negative 3. Then I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. This is tan x minus 1 is equals to negative 6. Tan of x is equals to negative 5. So I'm going to work in quadrants where tan is negative, and that is quadrant 2 and quadrant 4. The reference angle is equals to arc tan of 5, 78.69 degrees. So when I do the arctan, you'll notice that I don't include the negative. The negative tells you the quadrants that you have to work in, so you don't include it when you're finding the reference angle. So I'm going to work in quadrant 2 and quadrant 4. In quadrant 2, this is going to be 180 degrees minus 78.69 plus k, 180 degrees, where k is an element of integers. You will notice that with tan, I'm using k multiplied by 180 degrees. I am not using 360 degrees. And this is because the period of cos and sine is 360 degrees, but the period of a tan graph is 180 degrees, hence the difference. So this is 180 minus 78.69. 101.31 degrees plus k, 180. And then in quadrant 4, this is going to be 360 minus 78.69 plus k, 180 degrees. This is 281.31 degrees plus k, 180 degrees. 3.3. Sine of x plus 2 cos squared x is equals to 1. I have two different functions there, so I need to try and make them to be the same. That way I'll have a trinomial and then I'll find factors. So I know that sine squared x plus cos squared x is equals to 1. So cos squared x should be equals to 1 minus sine squared x. Then I'm just going to substitute 1 minus 2, 1 minus sine squared x. Then I'm bringing the negative. Okay, so this is sine of x plus 2 minus 2 sine squared x minus 1 is equals to 0. Negative 2 sine squared x plus sine of x plus 1 is equals to 0. Then I'm going to divide by negative 1. I'm going to be left with 2 sine squared x minus sine of x minus 1 is equals to 0. Then I'll just find factors here. This is 2 sine of x, that's a sine of x, 1 and a 1. So that must be a negative. So the side is going to be negative, that side is going to be positive. This is 2 sine squared x, that's a minus 2 plus 1, which is a minus 2. Yeah, so 2 sine x plus 1 is equals to 0, or sine of x is equals to 1. Sine of x is equals to negative 1 over 2. For this side, I'm working in quadrants where sine is negative. That's quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. And then for this side, I'm using the quadrants where sine is positive. That's quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. The reference angle here is equals to 30 degrees, and the reference angle here is equals to 90 degrees. For quadrant 3, we are going to say x is equals to 180 degrees plus 30 degrees plus k 360 degrees, where k is an element of integers. This is 210 degrees plus k 360. This was quadrant 3. Now I'm going to use quadrant 4. X is equals to 360 degrees minus 30 degrees plus k 360 degrees. 330 degrees plus k 360. Now we move to the second. So here I'm working in quadrant 1. X is equals to 90 degrees plus k 360 degrees. And then in quadrant 2, x is equals to 180 degrees minus 90 degrees plus k 360. So this is 90 degrees plus k 360. 3.4. This is 6 cos of x minus 5, which is equals to 4 cos of x. I'm going to multiply by cos for like the left hand side and the right hand side. So this is 2 cos squared x minus 5 cos of x, and this will be a negative 4 when I transpose it. And then I'm just going to divide by a 2 so that I have 3. Now if I divide by a 2, the 5 won't get divided. So let me just try and find factors. So the factors are going to be 3 cos of x and then 2 cos of x. Then I'm going to have a 4 there and a 1. Okay, this part is negative, so this is positive, and that's going to be negative, which is equals to 0. So cos of x should be equals to 4 over 3, or cos of x should be equals to negative half. There's no solution here. And then the reference angle there is equals to a cos of a half, so that's 60 degrees. And I am working in quadrants where cos is negative. That's quadrant 2 and 3. Quadrant 2 and then quadrant 3. In quadrant 2, this is 180 degrees minus 60 degrees plus k 360, where k is an element of integers. So this is 120 degrees plus k 360. And then in quadrant 3, this is 180 degrees plus 60 k 360 degrees. This is 240 degrees plus k 360. 3.5. 1 plus 4 sine squared x minus 5 sine of x plus cos 2 of x is equals to 0. This is the only odd one out. So I'm going to change that, and since I have a sign and a sign there, I'm going to choose the one with the sign. 1 plus 4 sine squared x minus 5 sine of x plus, so this is going to be 1 minus 2 sine squared x equals to 0. 4 minus 2, that's a 2 sine squared x minus 5 sine x, and then I'm going to have a 2 there. And the factors here, this is going to be 2 sine of x, sine of x, and then I want to get to 5, so that's a 2, that's a 1. This is going to be negative, that's going to be negative as well. So sine of x should be equals to a half, or sine of x should be equals to 2. No solution. And the reference angle there is equals to 30 degrees. And I'm working in quadrants where sine is positive, which is the first and the second. In quadrant 1, x is equals to 30 degrees plus k 360, where k is an element of integers. And then in quadrant 2, x is equals to 180 degrees minus 30 plus k 360 degrees. So this is 150 degrees plus k 360. 3.6. Sine squared x plus cos 2x minus cos of x is equals to 0. So I have two different functions on each side. So I'm going to choose this, the one that has a combination of the two. So this is sine squared x, and then I'm choosing cos squared x minus sine squared x minus cos of x is equals to 0. So this will take care of that. I'm left with cos squared x minus cos of x is equals to 0. And then you just want to take out a factor of cos of x minus 1 is equals to 0. So cos of x is equals to 0, or cos of x is equals to 1. So here I'm working in quadrants where cos is positive, even this side. The reference angle there should be equals to 90 degrees, and the reference angle this side should be equals to 0 degrees. So I'm working in quadrant 1 and quadrant 4. In quadrant 1, x is equals to 90 degrees plus k 360, where k is an element of integers. And then in quadrant 4, this is 360 degrees minus 90 plus k 360. So this is 270 degrees plus k 360. And then in this side, quadrant 1, x is equals to 0 degrees plus k 360. So this is k 360 degrees. And then x is equals to, this is quadrant 4, 360 degrees minus 0 plus k 360. So this is 360 degrees plus k 360. Then 3.7, cos of 2x minus 7 cos of x minus 3 is equals to 0. I have a cos there, so I'm going to change this to the one that has a cos only. So this is 2 cos squared x minus 1 minus 7 cos of x minus 3 is equals to 0. 2 cos squared x minus 7 cos of x minus 4 is equals to 0. Then now I'm just looking for the factors. This is 2 cos of x, and then I want to have a 7, so there must be a 4 there and a 1 this side, so that when I say 2 times 4, that gives me an 8, and then I subtract or add 1, that's going to give me a 7. So this is a minus, and that is a positive. So cos of x is equals to negative 1 over 2, or cos of x is equals to 4. No solution. And then we are working in quadrants where cos is negative, quadrant 2 and 3. In quadrant 2, so the reference angle there is equals to 60 degrees. Quadrant 2 is 180 degrees minus 60 degrees, k 360. K is an element of integers, so this is 120 plus k 360 degrees. And then quadrant 3, x is equals to 180 plus 60 plus k 360. This is 240 degrees plus k 360. And then 3.8. Yes, 3.8. Cos 2x is equals to sine x minus 2. I have a sign on the right, so I'll change this one to 1 minus 2 sine squared x is equals to sine of x minus 2. So sine squared of x plus 2 sine squared of x plus sine of x minus 3, 0. This is 2 sine squared x, sine squared x. Yes. Now I'm looking for the factors. 2 sine of x, sine of x. And then I need to have a 1. 3 is going to come this side. That's going to be a 1. Sine times sine is 2 sine squared. That's minus 3. And minus 2 plus 1. That's a sine x. Yes. So sine of x is equals to negative 3 over 2. Or sine of x is equals to 1. No solution. We are working in quadrants where sine is positive. So that is quadrant 1 and 2. Quadrant 1, quadrant 2. The reference angle is equals to 90 degrees. Quadrant 1 x is 90 degrees plus k 360, where k is an element of integers. And then x is equals to 180 degrees minus 90 plus k 360. So this is 90 degrees plus k 360. And then 3.9. Sine of x is equals to 2 cos squared. So that's a 15 degrees minus 1. This right here, this is 2 cos squared 15 degrees minus 1, which is equals to cos 2 times 15, which is cos 30 degrees. So sine of x is equals to cos 30 degrees. And then this is a special angle, so I can just find the value of this, and then I'll work in quadrants where sine is positive. So this is sine of x, which is equals to cos 30, that's root 3 over 2. And then the reference angle is equals to arc sine root 3 over 2. So this is 60 degrees. And I'm working in quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. X is equals to, in quadrant 1, 60 degrees plus k 360. K is an element of integers. And then in quadrant 2, this is 180 degrees minus 60, where k, so this is 120 degrees plus k 360. So as you can see, these are not difficult at all. You just have to do a lot of these questions, and then this will become second nature.